Cool. Thank you everyone for coming. It's really good to see everyone since the last time I saw you, and for two out of the three of you since I last presented your big awards in person. Um, yeah, let's go around and do a quick round of intros. I'm Janet. I'm the producer on NPR Ed, and I help run our College Podcast Challenge. Anya, do you want to go?
Oh, sure. Yes. Hi, I'm Anya. I won the contest in 2021 when I was a senior in college, and now I work at Throughline, which is an NPR show. So, yeah.
Cool. I'll have you go, Michael.
Yeah, I'm Michael. I won the contest in 2023. I'm actually currently working at AAA for a while before I finish my studies at UNC.
Cool. And then Joe.
Hi, I'm Joe. I won this past year's NPR contest, and I'm currently working in music composition and production at Ant Food in New York.
That's so exciting. That's a new update that I didn't know
New
about.
update!
New update. Yeah, actually, let's start from there. I'm curious, how has it been since I last presented your awards? If anyone else has any big updates, or if you want to talk a little bit about where this contest has taken you since, that would be awesome. Joe, do you want to start since you're kind of getting there?
Sure, I can start. So since winning, um, I started an internship here at Ant Food in June, and Ant Food is a really cool place. It's like everything audio. We make music for brands mainly. So like if you ever hear like Netflix does the tudum, that's like a Sonic brand. So a very short, like 3 second max kind of thing that you associate heavily with the brand. We make a lot of those. We make music for commercials, TV, all sorts of things, podcasts. Um, and yeah, I mean, working here has pushed me a lot. I've learned a lot, and the work's amazing. Yeah, and so yeah, that's my update. That I kind of found a dream job I didn't know existed, which is cool. Like I didn't even know that this was a line of work at all, and then I kind of stumbled into it, and um, yeah, I guess that's my big update is like I'm employed now. Hell yeah. Can I say hell yeah? Sorry.
I think so. No, I would say that too. Wait,
Okay,
that's so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Um, That's so cool because I remember, especially for a lot of our college students who apply or are interested in applying, like obviously a big part of the question, especially in the industry right now, is like, where is this gonna take me? And like, even though you had like one this year, I know that was such a big question mark for yourself, where you were kind of unsure about your own
Yeah,
like confidence in the line of work, or like, what does this even look like in practice? Yeah.
totally. And I would tell those people to think creatively about like you might not get a podcasting job at a really big place like NPR, but who can you convince to let you make a podcast? Like my company does not make podcasts, but I'm gonna make them a podcast. So, you gotta just like kind of weasel your way in. I have a friend who works for, I think, like the North American Bike Association, and she's just convinced her job to let her make a podcast. So, if you can't find a job in what you want to do, where can you work that might let you do what you want to do? That's kind of how I feel about like finding jobs right now is so hard. Like you get what you get, and like if you can get employed, you're lucky right now, and like yeah, get a foot in the door anywhere, then see how you can make. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to sound like sad, but like, yeah, jobs are hard right now. It's bleak, but like if you can get your foot in the door anywhere, you might be able to find a way to make it work and satisfy yourself creatively as well.
No, I think that's beautiful and honestly advice that would resonate with a lot of current students. Yeah, or even non-students who are working in this industry right now. I think it's like really relatable. Yeah. Yeah, I'll pass it to Anya. Anya, where has this contest taken you?
Uh, Great question. This contest, I feel like made my entire career happen. So that is like a huge thing that came out of this. When I entered, I was like, I had applied for a bunch of journalism jobs and heard like crickets back, basically. And I didn't major in journalism in college. I majored in environmental science. So that's probably why no one was calling me back. And I had never done anything in journalism except for take one class at my college. So this was kind of like a last ditch attempt to start anything for myself, basically, career wise. And when I won, I think people started like calling me back instantly. Like, I remember I had been trying to connect with the member station in my college town. This is not even to call them out, but then as soon as I won, they were like, "Can we give you a tour? Like, we have this amazing like fellowship." Like, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, what happened to the resume I sent you guys 6 months ago? So, which I get because there's many people who want to like write or be in radio or do things, but it's like it's not it's a learned skill, and like if you don't have proof that you can learn that, then like who's gonna, you know, give you a chance, which is the brutal truth of this world, not to spit more brutal truths like Joe did. But I would say, I guess, like what this gave me was like a tiny stepping stone that then led to other stepping stones. Like right after the contest, I got an 8-week position covering for someone on maternity leave at a member station in Seattle. And then right after that, I applied to the NPR internship and I got that. And then after that, I stuck around, clawed my way through a couple of like temp jobs until a permanent position opened up, and then here I am, like 4 years later. So that's basically what's happened to me.
Uh, your story makes me so happy because I think that's what this contest is. Oh, thank you, hearts. Exactly
Yeah.
for, honestly, is students who, you might not be in like a journalism program or might not have access to like some sort of like professional training or pipeline or whatever like early career opportunities that are especially so limited right
Hmm.
now. And I just want to say, like, for anyone who's like even remotely interested, this is really like open to all students, whatever you're studying, wherever you go to school. um I think all of you can testify that I actually do listen to all of them and consider all of them, and as Anya have experienced also on the other side as a judge, like we talk about it pretty like in depth, and sometimes it gets heated,
Hmm.
but we really do value your time and yeah, wanna
And
honor that.
oh, sorry. I
Yeah,
would
go.
just also add, like, whatever you make, even if it doesn't win or get an honorable mention or whatever, like, it's a clip. It's something that you made and
Yeah,
wrote and produced yourself. So it's like something that you can show people forever when you're looking
yeah,
for work and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I didn't know this until I was prepping for this call, but so many of actually like all of your work, like there's continues to be like engagement, like even like after like the winning announcement comes. And I'm sure you can like speak a little bit more about this too. But yeah, Michael, can you also speak a little bit about that? Like what's happened since you won, like what you've been hearing back from folks?
Well, yeah, I think I'm gonna take it like from 2023. I'm gonna try to summarize it as much as I can. So when I won, I was actually an international student, and I guess it makes sense that nobody mentioned it, but I actually paid my immigration process with the prize, and now I'm a permanent resident, so I was able to stay in the U.S. Yay! I made it. Well, yeah, I got thousands of messages, people connecting with me, mental health professionals, different social media outlets and stuff, just like sharing the story on whatever. But more than that, like it really helped me to get back on the stream that I was supposed to be, if that makes sense. I was studying media in Colombia, and when I immigrated here, I went to a totally different stream, which was like the mental health part of it, like psychology. I was studying psychology at the time, and I got my associates with it and whatever. And I don't know, I it just felt like a call, like to just go back to what I really enjoyed doing back in time there when I was in university in Colombia. Um, Helping people and like making people connect with me was just priceless. And actually, I mean, I'm not allowed to give a lot of details about it, but as I said, I'm working in AAA in the meantime because I have to like pay some stuff before I finish my studies. But I'm also working in on a project that again I cannot give a lot of details about it, but it's meant
Now
to
I really
change.
want to know. I'm kidding.
It is meant to change the way mental health treatment is given to people, like completely change how it works. But I cannot really give a lot of details because people are gonna steal my idea and I don't want to I don't want I don't want that.
No, I won't force it out of you. But that's awesome that you're continuing to do what you do. I don't know if everyone has like listened to your first podcast, Michael, Monsters We Create, but I'm just gonna play the first minute and let's talk about it.
Why would you tell them I exist? They won't understand. They're gossips. Stop. You're giving me a headache. Can you shut up for a second? No, I won't. Thank you. This is how I've been living my whole life. But you're probably wondering, what is this guy talking about? Who's he even talking to? Well, let me explain.
Hey, Mikey, what are you doing?
Just playing Xbox with Felipe before he leaves, Mom.
I didn't know you invited a friend.
Mom, he has been here for hours.
But where is he?
I will never forget the look in my mother's eyes when she saw her son playing with his invisible friend. I'm Colombian, so you can probably imagine what the reaction of my Colombian religious mother was.
Este niño está poseído.
This kid is possessed. No, you're not. Yes. My mom took me to the closest prize she could find, trying to figure out why her kid would talk to a wall. Whoa, that was me. She thought I could see ghosts or something, but hey, don't get me wrong, it would be a super cool power. Yeah, it would. But no, I can't see ghosts, sadly. My mom had no choice but to take me to the doctor, who told her I just had an imaginary friend. No, It will disappear as the kids grow up, he said. No, it won't. Well, according to multiple studies, imaginary friends usually appear at the age of 3 and disappear when the kid is up to 9 years old. But mine did not. At some point, the way my mom thought I was crazy made me actually believe I had some supernatural power. But again, I don't. Yeah, So, you're just crazy, man. if I can't see ghosts, and this is not an imaginary friend anymore, what is this? What is wrong with What do me? you mean wrong? I visited different
Okay, I'll stop there for a second. Michael, I know you explained a little bit about your interest in mental health and you're continuing to, sounds like, report on it, which I didn't know about, but very cool. Tell me a little bit about how you decided to make your podcast, or what you decided to make your podcast about and how you got there.
So all started it was for a class at the beginning. I was introduction to communication, I think it was the class. And pretty much the class project was at the end, the final was pretty much making a podcast related to one of the United Nations like topics and stuff. And I was really struggling to find what I wanted to make my podcast about. And I have said this before, it was more a thing of like timing. My girlfriend at the time, which she's my wife now, we're married by the way. um um my girlfriend at the time, she pretty much told me that I told her that I have this condition of like a schizoaffective disorder. I'm schizophrenic, yada yada yada. Like I really thought that like she deserved to know what she was really getting into, right? Um, and at some point during like the class and like this conversation, she told me like, I don't want you to tell my friends like you're schizophrenic. And I was like, huh? What do you mean? Um, and of course, I mean, I didn't really take it as an insult at all because she actually explained it. It's not, it wasn't like she was uh, ashamed or embarrassed of like who she was dating. It was more, she said it herself, like, I don't want them to think that you're something you're not, like, you're not your condition, you're not your disease, right? So, because there is a stereotype around the like schizophrenia and the entire thing, like people think that like they're delusional, violent, like dangerous and stuff. And then I kind of took it personal, even though like she said all that like from a place of love. I was like, they don't want to know, like I'm gonna make them know. Like I'm gonna show them how it feels. So that's how I ended up like creating my podcast the way I did it, like putting people's in someone with a schizophrenia, so like in those shoes. Pretty much that's how it happened.
Yeah, I think this is the thing that most students have the hardest time with because, it's very often choosing the right story, especially for a contest like this when you're not submitting a whole series, but single episode can, in a way, feel very high stakes, especially if you aren't 100% sure what you are telling a story about. Whereas, like, I feel like, Michael, your case, you had like an inspiration, you knew what you were going into. But Joe, I know this is like something you were having kind of a hard time with, like when you were also a student. I'm gonna play the first minute of your winning podcast, Just Friends, and then let you talk about it.
Hello?
Hello, am I on the air with Joe Radio?
You are. Ethan, I have a question for you.
Oh my God, I cannot wait.
Okay, the question is, are you still single?
Yes, I am still single.
Okay, does that mean that we still have our marriage pact?
I would say so, strictly for taxation purposes, but yes.
That's my friend Ethan. We have a marriage pact, which pretty much means that when we're 40, if we're still single, we're just gonna get married and live together as friends. Sometimes I wonder, would I be happy? Would I be fulfilled if I just had friendships for the rest of my life?
What you're asking is, if the marriage pact comes to fruition,
Yes.
we're 40, we're
We're
unmarried,
40.
we tie the knot, happily ever after. Would we be okay?
So I have been single my whole adult life. I have never been in a romantic relationship.
This is Steve Small. I came here to talk to Steve because he lives his life fulfilled by his friendships. Steve is in his 60s, he's a great conversationalist and listener, and he's fit and he makes really good banana bread. And when I met him, honestly, I was kind of surprised that he's even single. But he wants to be single, and he's really happy that way. To understand why, we have to go back in time.
Okay, I'll stop there. Joe, do you want to tell me a little bit about how you got to Just Friends? And I would also love to hear a little bit more about all this amazing music we hear throughout and how you got there.
Thank you. But first of all, can I just jump back to Michael for a second?
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, your story is so amazing, but also just I'm a huge audio music nerd. I loved what you did. I thought it was incredible. All the panning, the way that you played with the voices, and you created this whole soundscape for the listener that I just think is incredible. So I just wanted to shout that out. I really admire your work on that.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Plus
Yeah,
one,
of
plus
course.
one.
Yeah, plus one. I think, I mean, creating sound for my podcast was also, Michael, I don't know about you, but like, I think that was, you're a musician as well, like at the sense? No? Well, you should be. That's crazy. I think creating music for my piece was actually my favorite part of the process in a lot of ways. The song that you hear in the beginning, which I just call the haha theme, I composed that before I even knew what I wanted to ask and before I had met Steve. I just was I was so discouraged. I was doing a semester-long program. This was my first time ever doing podcasting. Um, and I think I was reporting some other story that really I wasn't feeling inspired by. And I was so discouraged that I just like sat in the closet because that's where you get the best sound. Um, Sat on the floor and recorded this haha theme. And I actually think that the song and the way that I was feeling kind of told me what I actually wanted to make my piece about. And it just occurred to me that something I'd been thinking about a lot was friendship. And that maybe what I wanted to make a story about didn't have to be some like um, huge, crazy, like journalistic question. It could just start with something really simple with a lot of heart, which is just, I love my friends. How satisfied could I be if I just lived the rest of my life with my friends? I think I was just like, I'm sick and tired of dating. Portland Hinge was terrible. But I just, yeah, that's really where like the inspiration came from. And then after I had that question, I had this phone call with my friend Ethan, and that made me feel super inspired. I remember bringing that in and showing my teacher and being like, I have a theme song and I have a phone call with my friend and this is great. And he was like, that's great, Joe, but we need somebody. We need somebody. So then I just went out on this quest to find the right person, somebody who actually has lived their life fulfilled by just their friendships. Um, Oh, thank you. Thank you, Casper. I know it's it is kind of cool that I get to do that now.
And how did you find him? I'm curious.
Yeah,
Sorry to
I
jump
mean,
in.
no, jump in, jump in. Let's all jump in. I found him honestly through a family connection. It's more like I was running out of time in the program. I had like 3 weeks left, maybe 2 weeks left, um, to make this piece. And I just asked my mom, like, do you know anybody who happens to be in Maine that might be like have chosen to be single? Because I didn't want somebody who ended up single and was sad about it. I wanted somebody who chose to be single. Like that was a very specific choice that they felt happy with, and they felt like I don't need to be in a traditional partnership. And my mom actually, her like old coworker and also best friend, um, is childhood best friends with Steve. So it was kind of a little bit of a few handshakes away, but once I got on the phone with Steve, I just knew that he would be the person to meet. Yeah. And I love Steve. Like I feel like it was so special to be able to go back up to Portland to receive the prize because seeing Steve was amazing. And I really feel like that award is shared. It's like he tells his story so beautifully. And I think in a lot of ways, that's all you need to make a good story is just a really good storyteller. So I really feel like um, I got lucky in that way. I met Steve and he tells his story so well. So yeah, I guess that's what I have to say there.
And I think it's so cool that you really leaned into like I know you were also like trained as a vocalist and musician, and music is such a big character in your podcast, and also just like shows like I think everyone who come to the contest like comes from like so many different like backgrounds, experiences, and interests, and all of you I think one because you like leaned into different strengths you have and like um put like all your heart in showcasing that. Anya, let's turn
Oh
to you.
no.
Oh no. Anya was our first ever grand prize winner when we opened the contest in 2021. So this one takes us really all the way back.
It's vintage.
It's yeah, at this point it's vintage. Let's play it.
and today I'm going to tell you the story of an immaculate conception. It didn't happen in the Bible. It happened on my mom's lunch break, in a sterile room. What my mom likes to say about it is this:
I fucked a syringe, and then I had 2 kids.
Me and my younger brother, Ari, were products of artificial insemination. We're from the same donor, who my mom and dad picked out online.
There was only one cryobank in all of Minnesota. We went to them, and there were no Korean donors. I went back and
Why
called.
did you want a Korean donor specifically?
Well, because Dad was Korean.
You couldn't just have any old Asian.
No, we weren't going to have. No.
They ended up going through a cryobank in California, where they chose donor 3046. He was a medical student at Stanford, with good grades. Or so I thought.
And I swear to God, I thought we picked the doctor.
Last year was the first time I tried finding my sperm dad in the cryobank's database. I typed 3046 into the search bar and immediately had to call my mom.
And we picked the jazz musician, and then I remember when you guys said that to me, you and your brother, that we decided to go with the artist. It was like, well, you're an artist, and you're Korean, and he's an artist. That'd be cool.
The cryobank gives limited information that you can access for free. Reading through his files, my mind was spinning. My brain couldn't keep up with my eyes. I was like, 165 pounds, medium tan skin, born in Seoul, Korea.
Cool. I'll pause there. When was the last time you listened to this?
Oh God, like years ago. So that's crazy.
How does it feel to listen to a tidbit of it now?
Oh, it's really sweet. I sound so young, and I'm also talking so, like, I'm being my own critic, but I'm like, oh, like, I'm talking so fast, like, I need to slow down, like, there's no room, like, you know, but that's because now I critique myself for a living all the time when I'm producing things, so I'm just like, yeah.
Well, I think you sound lovely, and I love just like the organic interactions so much in this, wherever you're just like jumping right in, you have a question, it needs to be asked. And there's something really beautiful about you, like, even though you've been doing this professionally for years, having something like this that captures this like specific moment and like story like in your life at that moment. Yeah. Can you take me back to whatever you remember of putting this together, submitting, and winning?
Yeah. I think when I learned about the contest, I was like, I think there was a part of me that was like, oh, this is my chance to like show my chops, whatever that means. I had no chops, but like, you know, do something serious, an actual journalism piece or something. But I ended up going with something more personal because I just felt like it would, well, one, it was easier, and two, it just felt more right for me. And I think like it allowed me to make something that was truly for me, which is something I don't get to do that often anymore because I work on a show now. So it's like fun to listen back and be like, you can hear so much of like the humor that I feel like me and my family like have. And I'm like, yeah, the line about the syringe, I'm like shocked now as like a radio professional at like some of the things that I put in there. Like, I think there's like a line later in the podcast where my brother says something about like, oh, I don't care about some stranger who like just nutted in a cup one day. And I'm like, that is absolutely so profane. And I just let that go to NPR. Like, I did not think twice about it. So yeah, I don't know. I think like sitting down to make it was honestly, I did not think that it would win. I didn't think that anyone important would hear it. And it was honestly just an opportunity for me to have this conversation with my family that we had never really had before, like certainly not on tape, but never like in a serious way. So, and to ask my mom the questions of like what it was actually like to go through this process of like dealing with my dad's infertility, and then to ask my brother questions about like how he felt about it all and, you know, his thoughts. So it was really like, I don't know. Yeah, it was very personal, and it was like, it did not feel like I was doing it to make a story. It felt like I was doing it to explore something about myself, and then the story came out of that. So I think that was a cool part of the process.
I think you bring up something really special that like I think everyone can relate to where it does, I feel like in a way, keep getting harder and harder to make something that's like really for yourself for whatever
Mm-hmm.
reason. And yeah, and I do feel like this is kind of a cool opportunity to, like you did, get your family to sit down to talk about something that's difficult, or like you going on a search to make that like whatever big idea thing that you have been thinking about, but because life in school is so busy, you've never like actually taken the time to do, because as we all need, there is a deadline. It's the second week of January, everyone. So yeah, if that's like a push you need for it, like please take it as is, and you may win $5,000, which Anya, I apologize. I know you were the first year
I
where
am
we
the
did not
only
have
one here. There was no such prize back in the day, but
yeah,
it's
but
okay.
job.
I won. People still talking to me about this years later. That is the prize.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
I just wanted to
how?
say also,
Yeah.
like, for people who are picking topics, like, I think it shows something that all three of us, like Michael, Joe, and I, like, all of them come from something that was just like nagging at the back of your mind that, like, you know, isn't necessarily like, oh, a deep investigation into how the city did something, like, you know, none of us knew about that. Like, we were just going from our own personal experiences, and like something that was like really just like you couldn't let go of. And I think that's like something that when you're sitting down to think about what kind of story you should do, like that's what this contest is for. This contest isn't to win a Pulitzer, it's to like tell a good story, and that story has to come from like, yeah, you're like you said, Joe, your heart.
Anya, I'm
So
curious, how is it like having been in this field for like years now, like, and having started with like a story that's like so personal? How has that shaped like your experience, your interactions? Yeah.
I think that the skills, like I've tried to, as I've gone further into being like a capital J journalist or whatever that means, like I feel like I try and retain like some of the instincts that I feel like I had when I worked on this piece, which is just like showing up with people as human beings and not trying to take myself too seriously, and like not being afraid to be dumb or be funny or be like slightly unprofessional in some times when I'm like meeting people and connect with them, because I think like sometimes you can lose sight of that, especially when you're working on like difficult stories or very like wonky stories, like, you know, I find myself doing the same thing. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and being able to like have fun with it and like
Mm-hmm.
remember that like this is something that you're supposed to like hopefully enjoy doing and like find some like
Yeah.
good out of it,
And I
whatever it
think
may be.
like take risks. Like I
Yes,
think all three of our
absolutely.
entries, there's like risks in the, it's not what you would necessarily hear on morning edition, like traditionally. Like there are like sonic risks, there's like topic risks, like all of that stuff is like, I feel like part of the process of making something for you is like you're not trying to copy what you think other people want to hear, or what the like standard, the gold standard is, whatever you think that is. Like you're just like, oh, this sounds cool, or like, oh, what if I made it like this? Yeah.
Yeah. Question for all three of you. Did you think you would win?
No.
I knew
Michael.
it. I knew it. I actually told my professor, because we were having like our podcast reviewed like before the final submitting of the thing. I I decided to not put music in my podcast, and my professor was like, "But why? Why are you not putting music in your thing? Why?" And I was like, "Because I know that what I have is so strong that I don't need it." And I told her, I actually think I have a recording of that I told her, like, I know I can win this. That is this, it's insane.
That is very powerful. I do want to say this might be the first and only person who's ever told me that, but that's very cool.
I love that confidence. I did not think that. And I remember when, oh, sorry, my roommate's coming home. But I remember when I saw on SoundCloud. We had to enter by uploading on SoundCloud. I think maybe you still do that. And you can see like people who have listened to it. And I remember like I saw one day that like someone named Steve Drummond had listened to it. And so I Googled him and I was like, oh my God, like must be a really big deal. Like someone actually listened to it. And that's when I was like, I think I might be like a finalist or something because there's no way he would listen to it otherwise. So, but I like broke out in a cold sweat everywhere. It was an awesome moment. But yeah, what about you, Joe? Did you think you would win?
Anya is like similar to you. I did not think I would win at all. And I think opposite of you, Michael. I think when I found out I was a finalist, I was like, nah, it's just because of my music. I think I'm a musician first. That's what I've done my whole life. Journalism and that kind of storytelling is really foreign to me. I didn't like this was my first time really making a piece. I had made one other podcast piece that was 5 minutes before I did this, which was 8.5 minutes. But this was like the longest, biggest thing I'd done in terms of podcasting. And I really was not confident in my storytelling abilities. And I think maybe attributed like being a finalist to just the fact that I did music for it. Um, I think that this podcast, like actually in a lot of ways winning, um, has helped me a lot with seeing that I can tell stories and it's not just my music, but I definitely wrestled with that a little bit, like finding out that I was a finalist, I had like the opposite reaction, Michael. I was like, I'm sure it's only my music. Which I sound sad, but that's kind of real. Like I think everybody has things that they um are confident in and less confident in. And this was in some ways in my comfort zone and in a lot of other ways really not in my comfort zone. But that's what's so fun about this contest is you get to really try things because like what's the worst thing that happens? You have a cool piece that you made for yourself and you don't win. That's still a pretty good outcome. So, yeah, I feel like you have nothing to lose by entering and I was shocked for sure. Grateful, but still a bit shocked for sure.
Could we do maybe like a final round of advice? Things you wish you would have done, or things you were like, I'm so glad I did this. Any for students who are maybe putting final touches, something to think about.
I will say, just to jump in, because I have mine locked and loaded. Because people have asked me for advice on the contest in the past. And having been like on the judging panel, I feel like, yeah, I think I've heard many entries. And I think one thing that I would say is that like, it is, and this isn't like blanket statement true, but I think your entry is like generally better and stronger if you include other voices in it or other like textures even. Like I know Michael, you had like the texture of like that sonic bouncing around back and forth. And like Joe, you had an interview and like I had some interviews with my family. But like whatever it is, whether it's like tape of you like running around outside doing something or like a I don't know, an interview with your friend or like an interview with your grandma or some sort of like sonic trick. Like I think adding the texture and not just having like pure monologue music like really takes it to the next level. I feel like I don't know if you would agree, Janet, having listened to like thousands of these. But yeah.
Yes, I think very rarely we will have finalists where it's like one person talking. And I specifically remember what it was because it was a middle schooler who was made this wonderful fictional story about how she magically got taller and that was her dream. And it was so cute and so magical and it was well written. But it's a very rare scenario. Um, so yeah. And it seems obvious, but we do get a lot of entries where it's one student telling a really good story, but it's just yourself. And yeah, think about ways of incorporating sound as a character. Great advice.
Anya, I love that you use the word texture because that's actually kind of what I was thinking as well. It's like from a sound perspective, how can you add more texture if that's like what you said, like just running in a field, like having your breath, like you're panting, or like the sounds of running through the grass. Literally get weird with like your mic placement. Hold up to the grass. Hold your mic in random places and just, or like even if it's your phone, if you don't have a mic, just like how can you get weird sounds, play with those textures, and like build an entire world for us to hear that's just beyond your own speaking voice or even the person next to you. Like how can you help us feel and experience? I I feel like there's so many more senses that we can activate with sound than just like our ears. Like we can really feel it when it's a good story and filled with lots of different textures. So yeah, get weird, record weird places, and get lots of crazy sounds and play with them.
I want to take it from what you both said about the texture and like pretty much like create an experience because that reminded me of the times where like it took me like a month to make my podcast, and it specifically reminded me to like I didn't touch it for like 2 weeks because I was figuring out what I wanted to put in it, and I made my wife, well, my girlfriend at the time, like listen to it. Like, what do you think about it? And I totally forgot what I did in my podcast at the time. So she started listening to it, and you know that you can hear the different voices responding to what I'm saying. And the first time that she heard one of those voices, she jumped, like she got scared because I totally forgot about it. She got scared. But that is the thing. Um, I think that, I mean, besides the part of like the texture and experience and uh all this like amazing stuff that you have been saying, it's more this something that I've been saying a lot is that everyone has a story to tell, and I think the most important part of it is telling a story that people can connect with. As Anya was saying, you don't have to have your story like, oh, breaking news in Florida, blah blah blah, something like that. No, it has to be something that people can really connect with. uh it's everyone has a story to tell, and I guess you just gotta find a way to tell it.
I love ending on that also because, Michael, I remember your professor would always say that in your class when I visited you to give you your certificate. Do you remember that? Yeah. Professor Emily Sundin in Miami-Dade. Yeah. And yeah, I think on that note, any other parting thoughts that I didn't ask about? If not, I just want to say, yeah, I feel like I've also personally never assembled this group of people before, but it's really exciting the different like ways you've taken your work, career, like life, whatever it is after this. And thank you so much for still making time to talk about it. And yeah, it personally really excites me and makes me really happy to hear that you are still like so invested and I don't know, have fond memories of the experience. So I hope this inspires everyone else to enter too. Yeah.
Thanks for putting this on, Janet.
Thank
Cool.
you so much.
And thank you, Air. Yeah. And
Yes,
yeah.
and thank you, Air.
Cool. Good luck. And oh, okay. Deadline is, let me try to remember, January 16th, Friday. So honestly, if you haven't started making one yet, you can totally do it because that's a whole month out. So I hope this inspires everyone. And please tell all your friends too, including everyone on this call. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.